Hey guys, it's Scott with Shades of Honey Apiaries. Just giving you a little snippet of what I've got going on today. I'm doing some hive restoration slash rehabilitation slash recovery slash sorting out a mess. I just recently took over a bunch of hives from an individual that decided he wanted to get out of bees. And to say the least, it's interesting on how the hives were set up. As you can see, I've got a medium super down at the bottom. Initially it was 2 mediums and a hive deep, and then 2 supers on top, but they were left and abandoned so long that the bees all went to the top and were building brood comb in the supers, the mediums, which they typically do. They built up, and this individual did not have queen excluders, so everything went to the hive body, or the the supers, and the hive body was abandoned. So now that I have them, I'm going through them and reestablishing the hive correctly. I am having to go in and locate queens, find out where they are. I've rotated the boxes. If you ever run into this and you want to get the bees back normal, as in being in the brood box, the deeps, and clear out your supers, put your deep back on top, put your supers on the bottom, give them some time, and they'll gradually move up into the deep. And then gradually just go back and check, and they'll abandon the bottom box first, moving things up. And then you can actually take that bottom box out, pull it out, and being now that we're in the palmetto, getting ready to go into palmetto, try not to send embers down in, and we're on our way out of goldberry, or tail end of and beginning of. I am swapping over, and I'm using my frames that were on the bottom, which was the super at a time, but then turned into a brood frame. So now I am watching. I've got eggs now in my deep, so my queen has moved up to the hive body where she should be. Also keep in mind, when you're moving boxes around, you could end up having bees on the outside of your box. And just don't blindly go ahead and grab your handles. Done it, been there, probably will do it again. You'll end up grabbing your handles and grabbing a handful of bees. So what I'm doing is I'm making sure I don't have my queen up top, which I'm pretty sure I don't, but I'm doing it anyway, because what I'm going to do is what I did is I shook off the bees from the frames that were on the very bottom. Shook them off. I want them to go down into the bodies, because I want to now, I still have a super down at the bottom, so I need to still get them to come up higher into the hive body. So I'm rotating everything around. There's very little brood left in the very bottom one, so I'm actually going to put a queen excluder in. I'm going to put those frames back up on top. The bees will still tend to them, but as they hatch out, they'll stay up top, and then they'll start moving the honey up into the super that's above the queen excluder, And then hopefully through this process of the season, I will be able to have everything rotated and my queen in a brood box and back to working a normal hive body and super. This box is typically my pretty hot one. I will be requeening this thing as I can get the box situated, because it is typically pretty hot, and I don't like having hot boxes. I like my bees calm. I like to be able to work my bees without wearing this screen. I don't like wearing a hood. I like to be able to see on my boxes. As you see, I'm not wearing gloves. I like to not only see my bees, and I'm going to swap out this super. I will be right back. Let me go grab another box. Alright, I'm back. And just like the way the boxes were set up, the boxes were pretty dilapidated, pretty well beaten up, and I've set these frames down in the direction that I knew they were in here. There's not a lot of brood, like I said, so it's going to be basically letting things hatch out. And as they hatch out, they'll maintain the top box or go down and maintain brood, because they're going to be brand new baby bees. So I'm going to let them decipher that. But I need to get this queen down, which I believe I've done. So that's there. I've got, I'm going to switch out, and I'm just swapping out frames that actually have some nectar or some pollen on them, because I take out one frame when I'm doing my supers. I don't run 10 frames up top. I do 9 for a 10 frame box. If you're wondering why, they build out the comb thicker. Let me grab the camera. If you see how the spacing is here and here, they're going to build the comb out thicker on the super. So then when I need to actually cut the caps off, the honey is exposed, or the wax and comb is exposed past the frame's edge. And then when I use my knife to cut down the frame's edge, I've got the caps that are exposed, and I'll be able to just cut through the cap and then be able to put my frames in the honey extractor. So that's what we're doing today. It's sparingly. I've got bees in feed mode. I'll show you something else that I come across. They had, this was actually capped off comb. It was in between two frames. I don't know why they didn't just build it on my frame, but for whatever reason they didn't, and it was very, very flimsy because it was brand new comb. Couldn't even hardly touch it. As I went to touch it, I was actually going to keep it, put it in my truck and eat it because it was capped off. But when I went to touch it, my hands it just fell right through my fingers. It was so soft because it's brand new comb. So basically I just put it on one of the lids, and you can see I'm just feeding it back. And it's just straight honey. So they'll feed that, they'll take it back to their boxes, and just put it to good use the way that it should be. So there we have it. As this progresses and I can get these boxes back to the way that they normally should be, I'll be able to manage them a little bit easier. A lot of these guys are going to have to be split or build some nooks off them. They're just absolutely packed with bees. So, but we're in the flow season right now, so I'm going to let these guys pull some nectar and make me some honey. So I'm glad you guys are watching. If you like the videos, hit the like button. If you want to subscribe and go ahead and be a Get notified when I have videos coming up. Hit the bell, and we'll talk to you guys later. Have a good day.